From whispers in the shadows to knocks at your door, this is the Scare Feed. Let's begin. It was a little past midnight when I heard the first knock. I was lying in bed, half asleep, scrolling through my phone, when it echoed through my small apartment. 3 heavy, deliberate knocks against the front door. At first I thought maybe I imagined it, but then came another set, louder, more insistent. I froze. Nobody ever came to my place that late, and I definitely wasn't expecting anyone. I stayed still for a moment, hoping whoever it was would just go away. But then, through the thin wood of the door, a man's voice called out, "Low.com." Almost friendly. "I know you're in there." Every hair on my body stood up. I didn't recognize the voice, and yet, he sounded like he knew me. My apartment was on the 3rd floor of a locked building. You couldn't even get inside without buzzing up. So, how the hell did he get in? I slipped quietly out of bed and padded to the door, moving as silently as possible. I pressed my eye to the peephole, and my stomach dropped. A man was standing just inches away on the other side. He was tall, maybe mid-40s, with messy dark hair and a pale face that looked almost sickly under the hallway light. He wasn't moving. He was just staring straight at the door. And then, as if he could see me peeking, his mouth curled into a smile. "Hi." "My name." I stumbled backward. "My name." He said my name. I hadn't spoken to anyone in days. I lived alone, worked from home, barely even saw neighbors. There was no reason this stranger should know who I was. The knocking started again, harder this time. Thud. I grabbed my phone, my hands shaking, and dialed 911. My voice trembled as I whispered what was happening. The dispatcher told me to stay calm, that an officer would be sent out. But while I was on the phone, the man outside began talking again. "Patient." Like he had all the time in the world. "You shouldn't ignore me. I've been waiting a long time to meet you." I pressed my back against the wall, clutching the phone so tightly I thought it would crack. I whispered into the receiver, begging the dispatcher to hurry. Suddenly silence. No mocking. No voice. I held my breath. I crept back toward the door, forcing myself to look through the peephole again. Empty hallway. He was gone. I felt a rush of relief, but it was cut short when I heard something else. A faint, metallic sound from inside my apartment. I whipped around. The sound was coming from the kitchen, the back window. Before I could even process, I saw movement. His hand. His pale hand forcing the window open, the metal squealing softly as he pried it upward. I dropped the phone in shock, heart racing. I bolted to the bathroom, slammed the door shut, and locked it. I crawled into the bathtub, trying to make myself small, trying not to breathe too loud. From the silence of the bathroom, I could hear the sounds outside. The creak of the kitchen floor, slow, deliberate footsteps. Then his voice again. "I told you, I just want to meet you." The way he said it, almost sing-song, made my skin crawl. The dispatcher was still on the line. I could hear her faint voice calling out from where I'd dropped the phone in the living room, but I didn't dare move. Every sound in the apartment felt amplified. The floorboards creaking under his weight, the soft brushing of his clothes against the walls as he moved closer. And then his footsteps stopped, right outside the bathroom door. I stared at the handle. It jiggled once, twice. Click, 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 the sound of him testing the lock. I clamped my hand over my mouth, tears streaming down my face. You can't hide forever. Minutes dragged like hours. I thought the lock would give way any second. And then sirens. The faint but unmistakable wail of sirens outside. The man went silent. For a long, horrible moment. The only sound was my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Then I heard him retreat, his footsteps moving quickly, then the sound of the window creaking open again. By the time the police arrived, the window was wide open, the curtain fluttering in the night air. He was gone. The officers searched the building, but they never found him. And the worst part, there was no sign of forced entry at the main door. Meaning, he hadn't just slipped past the lock. Someone must have let him into the building. I don't know how he knew my name. I don't know how long he'd been watching me. All I know is every night since then, I double-check every window, every lock, every blind, and sometimes, when it's quiet, I swear I still hear it. That low, patient voice outside the door. Thanks for listening. Friend, don't wander off alone. Like, subscribe, and stay with me, where it's safe.